Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the America Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Rhodes. I'm actually here out and about at Bulldozer's Collectibles over in the Berlin Farmers Market. And I'm sitting here with my buddy, the Bulldozer, Matt Tremont. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for coming back to the store.
Oh, no problem, man. Now, as if you didn't have enough on your plate, you have the store, your own video stuff that you're doing for shows, on point. Why add another thing on your busy plate with H20?
At the end of the day, it is wrestling business. So in business, you try to make money and try to pay the bills. So just another, outlet to generate some revenue to pay the bills at the end of the day. But I think as people know me now, my in-ring career is starting to wind down. Probably by this time next year, I'll only be wrestling, at a few places. So my future is behind the scenes and promoting. And at the end of the day, I really do enjoy, promoting and, building brands now. And it keeps me busy and still keeps me within the business and still making money within the business without actually having to be in the ring. So, as of right now, I have my full-time schedule in the ring, and then running the small business that is Bulldozer's Collectibles 4 days a week in the Berlin Farmers Market. Then I run Double Stomp Video, which basically is Smart Mark Video without the distribution. It's a video production company, and we have a full schedule right now. Every weekend, my crew's on the road filming events, and I'm able to employ 3 people out of that with the Double Stomp revenue coming in, and then on top of that, owning and promoting OPW, On Point Wrestling, and then, as you said, H20, the Hardcore Hustle organization. And a year ago, I started H20, launched the company in June of 2016, and basically since the beginning, at least as far as On Point Wrestling goes, 4.5 years of building that company and building that brand. People know that OPW at the end of the day has always been run by me and Loudy Jeffrey Kane. H20 really came about, to me because I wanted to run and operate a promotion by myself, and, I have a little more creative freedom and really get to put forth a product that I, see through my eyes and my vision, at the end of the day. And, again, I really enjoy promoting and putting on shows and booking shows and putting talent and doing all the logistical work of, the day-to-day operations of running a wrestling promotion. And right now, a lot of my time and effort is going into H20 and building this brand, and going forth, especially full time, going into the second half of 2017. I mean, last year we launched the company. We ran 2 shows in that first year, and already this year, we're looking at least at a minimum 6 shows, with the possibility of shows outside of the state of New Jersey. So right now, all my time and effort right now is going into H20 and building this brand.
All right, well, that sounds interesting. I know you got a lot of exciting things planned, but before that, we have your H20 1-year anniversary show coming up on June the 9th, which is a week away. Holy cow, does time fly. Now, I was going to run down everything with you real quick and get your thoughts on the card. Starting it off, we're going to have Tulpa versus Blackwater.
Blackwater is extremely underrated. One of the standouts at the Dojo Wars, the current Medal of Valor champion, to the best of my knowledge, if he still is champion. And Tulpa, another up and coming guy at Dojo Wars, and it's just another platform for them guys to continue to build their name and get their name out there. And I look at guys like Tulpa and Blackwater as far as the core roster and building the future of H20 and trying to make the company different and stand out. And I'm very old school, and I enjoy characters, and Blackwater is one of the best on the independents right now, and he's very underutilized, very underrated, and he's not at too many places. So he's really one of the main focuses as far as guys I want to build the company around right now. And he's in the midst of a feud with Jimmy Lloyd, and now he's going to be taking on Tulpa at the big 1 year anniversary show next Friday, June 9th. So that's going to be one of the one of the marquee matches on the show. It's going to be different from a lot of the rest of the matches that are on the card. I think it's the beginning and as we start to plant the seeds and set this tone for the hybrid division that we will have at H2O as we eventually build towards crowning the first H2O hybrid champion later this summer. So this will be the first instance and first match that we see of what the H2O hybrid division is going to be, with Tulpa and Blackwater one-on-one next Friday night.
Okay, next we have a special street fight with Jimmy Lyon wrestling the returning Madman Pondo.
Now, that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that one. When I put together first had the idea for the anniversary card, about 6 months ago. My idea was to, try to bring in, a hardcore deathmatch legend that hasn't been in the area in some time, and that other companies aren't using. With so many companies in this area, it's hard to try to find somebody that hasn't been here, and in a very saturated market. And Man Pondo's name popped right up in my head. So, and he hasn't been in this area, in the South Jersey Philly area, since 2009. So that was a no-brainer to bring in Man Pondo. A little personal history. Pondo's always been good to me, so I wanted to reach out and bring in Pondo for this event. And a side note, Jimmy Lyon, aka Chondo to a lot of people, is a very big Man Pondo fan. I think Jimmy Lyon, hence where he got his nickname Chondo, Pondo. So a lot of people that know Jimmy Lyon personally know that he's a very big Man Pondo fan. This match means a lot to him, and this was kind of this match, as far as me booking it, was kind of a thank you to Jimmy Lyon for all his hard work that he does for H2O, and more importantly, even Double Stomp Video. So yeah, it's a street fight. You get to see a legend that you don't get to see in the area too often, and it's Pondo versus Chondo in a street fight on June 9th, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Next, we have a hardcore match with your 2017 Hardcore Kingdom winner, Alex Colon, going up against Jimmy Lloyd.
Yeah, Cologne, the last H2O show was in February, which was Hardcore Kingdom, and after defeating Michael in the first round, and then defeating Devin Moore, Danny Havoc, and Connor Claxton in the finals, Alex Colon was the first inaugural winner of our annual hardcore tournament called Hardcore Kingdom. And as far as the hardcore division, so to speak, goes in H2O, Alex Colon is pretty much the guy at the forefront and the guy that's representing that division right now, a real true hybrid in indie wrestling, and another guy that's very underrated and underutilized elsewhere. Alex is mainly based out of Dayton, Ohio, and Rockstar Pro Wrestling. And that's all intertwined in the current interpromotional feud we have going on. And then Jimmy Lloyd, everybody knows and loves Jimmy Lloyd. He's been killing himself every weekend, whether it's Dojo Wars or CZW or Game Changer. And it's another first time ever match. A match that hasn't been done anywhere else, so it should be a very violent match. Not sure the exact stipulation, but it is hardcore rules, and Alex Colon's going to be, defending the Hardcore Kingdom crown, and hopefully Jimmy Lloyd is alive and in one piece after Game Changer wrestling this weekend, and makes it to H2O and makes it to take on Alex Colon for the first time ever.
Yes, let's all hope that Jimmy makes it through this weekend of Game Changer. But next we have someone I know that is a good and personal friend of yours, Kevin Sullivan, going one-on-one with another friend of yours, Stockade.
Sullivan, he has, been a very big, like you said, close friend of mine. He's pretty much like a wrestling dad to me. I've over the course of the last year and a half, have worked with him a lot, learned from a whole bunch from him, and pretty much very vital as far as the launch of this company and the H2O brand. A year ago, we had our very first show. It was myself and Kevin Sullivan one-on-one for the very first time, and that was one of the marquee matches on the event. And a year later, he comes back, and because he's got a little beef with Stockade. On that first show and first match a year ago, Stockade, Jeff Cannonball ran in after the match was over, and then Stockade made the save. As me and Stockade have a long history with each other, so he made the save on my behalf. And then WrestleMania weekend in Florida, Stockade accompanied me ringside at CZW against Pentagon, and Kevin Sullivan was the special guest referee. And Sullivan and Stockade wound up getting a little bit of an altercation where Kevin Sullivan pulled out the famed golden spike and proceeded to stab Stockade with it repeatedly until they fought to the back. So there is history, there's a story there, and now they will collide for the very first time one-on-one in I would say, a hardcore dream match between the two when the Taskmaster returns to H2O next Friday to take on Stockade, and in another one of the marquee matches on the card next Friday.
All right, next we actually have where you're going to be crowning the first ever H2O World Heavyweight Champion with Devin Moore versus Drew Blood versus one of the ECW originals, the franchise himself, Mr. Shane Douglas.
Another one, just kind of like Kevin Sullivan a year ago when we started this company. The first two guys, as far as bigger names in the business that were all aboard and willing to help H2O and build this company. One was Kevin Sullivan and the other was Shane Douglas. Shane Douglas on the inaugural card a year ago wrestled Eddie Kingston in another first time ever dream match, and 1 year later Shane Douglas returns to H2O to celebrate our 1 year anniversary and to continue to build this brand. I mean, people know Shane Douglas's history with ECW and kind of being a pioneer and building that company and getting that company to the heights that it did many years ago. And then the little bit of story behind this match, it is a three-way dance. Shane Douglas is the originator of the three-way dance match itself. He was in the original three-way in ECW in 1994 against Sabu and Funk. So why not bring Shane Douglas back a year later? Devin Moore, Drew Blood, Shane Douglas, old school three-way dance to crown the first H2O champion. And that's what it is too. It's crowning this company's first title holder as we continue to progress and move on to the future. We're going to put that stamp on it, and who's going to represent this company going forward into 2017. So yeah, it should be good. Devin Moore, Drew Blood, Shane Douglas, triple threat match should be good, and at the end of it we will finally have the first H2O heavyweight champion.
Yes, it's very exciting. Now you actually have a six-man going on here with Rockstar Pro with Ron Mathis, Ganger, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Michael, Mikael,
yeah.
versus Dan O'Hare, Danny Havoc, and Cannonball.
Yeah, at the last show in February at Hardcore Kingdom, I took on Ganger from Ohio, from Rockstar Pro. Me and him have a lot of history. Wrestled each other a million times out there for Rockstar Pro. And then after the match, his riding buddies and fellow Rockstar Pro wrestling teammates, Ron Mathis and Michael, then proceeded to beat me down, which pretty much ignited the feud, the interpromotional feud that we currently have going on with H2O and Rockstar Pro. So that started the war, and now the war will continue, as the three of those guys will come back next Friday, June 9th, at the 1 year anniversary. So I had to, get all I could together and seek out the best team I could put together possible to seek revenge on my behalf, as I will be busy with doing something else on the card that night. But taking on Team Rockstar Pro will be a pretty damn good team I was able to put together, of Danny Havoc, the deathmatch drunkard himself, Jeff Cannonball, the 2017 On Point Wrestling Survival of the Sickest winner, and Big Scare Dan O'Hare, another very underrated and underutilized guy on the independents today. So a pretty damn good team I was able to put together to represent Team H20 on June 9th. So the war continues, and hopefully we can write the next chapter with a W and send those guys back to Ohio in their car with their head in their hands with a loss.
All right, now this is another one that I'm very excited for. As you always say, it's a dream match, or once in a lifetime, cue the pun, match. We're gonna have the boss DJ Hyde wrestling WWE Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkoff.
I think going back again to planning this event, I wanted to make the 1 year anniversary as special as possible, and then putting together what H20 is. I think kind of the formula that I have right now is using our core guys, bringing in a few names, bringing in some outside guys that aren't in the area all the time. So really what H2 all about, is matches just like this, and I think it's the most intriguing match on the card. It's definitely, I think, generated the most interest of the 8 matches that you'll see next Friday, when we have the Lariat God himself, DJ Hyde, taking on, as you alluded to, WWE Hall of Famer and former World Tag Team Champion Nikolai Volkoff. But two very big guys. I've called it the Hoss Battle of the century, and Vince's hired Russian hitman comes in to take out the Lariat God himself, the boss DJ Hyde. But now it should be a very interesting match, to say the least.
I will completely agree with that. Now, I actually saved you for last. You're going to be competing at the 1 year show against your student, Sean the Spider over here. Though I'm very intrigued to hear what you have to say about this.
If you were at Hardcore Kingdom in February, after my match, before the beatdown that took place on me, my student Sean Henderson, who's been training with me for over a year and a half now, came into the ring, unbeknownst to me and unbeknownst to the locker room and the crowd. Shoot just hopped in the ring and challenged me. First told me that he thinks he's ready, and that he's finally ready to have his first professional wrestling match after training and putting the time in for a year and a half now. I proceeded to then tell him, I think you are ready, so I would agree with that. And I told him on June 9th at the 1 year anniversary, he would make his professional wrestling debut, and I told him to skedaddle. And then I told him, just before he made his way back to the locker room through the curtain, I stopped him and said, you will have that first match on June 9th, and your opponent will be me, your teacher. So that, I think, definitely garnered a lot of interest and intrigue from everybody. But at the end of the day, he, anybody who knows Sean, he's been coming to wrestling events in the area for a very long time. I mean, the kid just celebrated his 19th birthday, so he's a young kid. But anybody who knows him, he's very humble, and he's just overall a very good, genuine human being. And he's really busted his ass. A year and a half ago, when I started training my first class of kids, I had 9 people start out in my first class of training, and I had a couple people that were in their 30s. I had kids that were as young as 16, and after all of it, after the first few sessions, you could tell who wanted it, who had it, and who knew they didn't know what they really got themselves into. So fast forward a year and a half later, Sean the Spider Henderson was the last man standing. He paid his dues, he worked hard, and he was the only one that didn't quit. Eight other people quit and said they couldn't hang, and they were fans of the wrestling business, but they honestly just, as nice as I can put it, didn't have what it takes to make it in the professional wrestling business, or just, even overall in the early training. So that kid busted his ass. His hard work will pay off, and he has the match with myself on June 9th. And then just the other day, I'm looking up and down the card. I'm seeing Sean, put the time in, especially the last couple weeks. I've been taking him to the CZW dojo, after I'm on the road, and then I'm back in the store on Sundays. I close the store at 6 o'clock, drive to Sean's house, we pick him up, and then we go to the CZW dojo and train. And for the last 3 weeks, we've put over 4 hours in, each night the last 3 weeks. And I looked at that, and I just looked at all the help that he does for me, as far as him paying dues and really wanting to make it in wrestling, and just show me that he really wants it. So I looked at all that, and I said, I don't think there's any other match worthy on the card to be the main event, and so I think he celebrated his 19th birthday on Wednesday, and I put that post up. So in my head, I'm like, I think this is a pretty good birthday present to give the kid. So he's busted his ass tremendously. He's earned the main event, and it will be just that. So next Friday night, June 9th, at the 1-year anniversary of this up-and-coming promotion, the 19-year-old kid will main event his very first professional wrestling match. I can humbly say, he says it all the time, I'm his hero and an idol, and that means a lot to me, and that's very humbling. So yeah, you'll see a lot of hard work pay off, and you'll see this 19-year-old kid make his professional wrestling debut next Friday night.
I'm very excited for this show in general, but before we get out of here, is there anything, I guess you would say as a spoiler, you could let us know for the future of H2O in the next coming months?
Yeah, I think I put a post up online the other day, if you're in the H2O fan group, at least on Facebook. I'm putting just a lot of time and effort into H2O right now. I mean, I put a lot of time and effort into everything I do. On Point Wrestling, Double Stomp, the store, anything I'm involved with. But H2O really is my, future as far as, promoting and behind the scenes in wrestling. So, the last 2 weeks, I've really, hustled to make things happen, and set things and plant seed for the future of the company. We just hooked up with the up-and-coming clothing brand Discover, that's run by my nephew, another one, senior in high school, and he's been busting his ass and just launched an entire brand and clothing apparel company, and it was kind of a no-brainer. He's been working with me and doing graphics and stuff for a long time. So now all H2O events, going forward are sponsored by Discover, and you're going to see a lot of new H2O apparel at the shows, courtesy of the Discover brand. And just today, just announced the 16-man horse tournament. So there's a lot of tournaments in the business now. You saw the Cruiserweight Classic and all the deathmatch tournaments in the area. WWE just announced a women's tournament, and now it's time to give the big boys a chance to shine. So on Friday, December 8th, H2O presents Hoss, a battle of the sport's biggest and baddest. That will take place at the OTW Arena in Williamstown. First 4 guys we announced today are the up-and-coming Ace Romero, Brute Van Syke, former NXT star and current NYWC champion Bull James, and one of my favorite guys in the business, one half of Team Tremendous, Mr. Bill Carr. So it's just one of the many things H2O has going on right now to continue to grow. Last year, in our first year, we ran 2 shows, and we made a little bit of an impact, and we let everybody know we were out there. Right now, we got a full schedule lined up. Is for June 9th is our anniversary. H20 will then return on Saturday, August 12th, for a very special event called Brutality at the CZW Dojo in Blackwood, and then H20 will come back to OTW in Williamstown for a very extreme event on Friday, October 20th, and right now tentatively, and then obviously the horse tournament December 8th, and then we'll probably end the year with a Christmas Classic number 2, as we did last year. We had a very fun Christmas show, just 2 days before Christmas, and I'm probably going to officially announce that show later this week. But a Christmas Classic 2 will be Saturday, December 23rd at the CZW Dojo in Blackwood. So just there, you see just a little growth of the company we've been able to do this year, going from 2 live events to at a minimum 6 live events this year, back and forth between Blackwood and Williamstown, and then South Jersey WrestleFest convention and live event is currently in the works, which will feature H20 and On Point, a lot of other companies in the area and outside of the area. So I'm hoping to have some news on the South Jersey WrestleFest within the next couple weeks, and then the other way of really branching out and building the H20 brand is getting out of New Jersey. So currently in talks and doing shows out in the Midwest in Ohio and down south in North Carolina. That pretty much just the bigger picture of the company is just to run as many live events as possible and continue to build up the content and library. So when the Double Stomp Video Network is ready to launch, you'll have all this exclusive H20 content, so on and so forth. Because all the ventures that I currently have and involved with, everything leads into the next thing, and everything has a purpose. So now, just a very, very exciting time for myself, as far as all the stuff I'm involved with, and all the promotion and all the logistics and work that goes into it. I mean, you're here now, and since you've been here, I've just been on the computer the whole time, promoting and plugging away and getting ready for our anniversary show next week, getting the announcements out about the Hall show in December. So a lot going on, a lot good going on, and and I'm only able and can continue to do that with all the great wrestling fans support in the South Jersey area. Without you guys, myself and H20 and anything I'm involved with is not possible.
Amen. I'm very, very excited for the future of H20, but I wanted to personally thank you for taking the time out of your insanely busy schedule to come and talk about H20 with the fans. So we're going to get out of here for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll see you back next time. Have a good day, everybody.